The story of Saint Victor of Marseilles.
Subscribe to our channel to receive more content like this.
Let me take you back, way back to the early 4th century. The Roman Empire was powerful, vast, and deeply suspicious of anyone who refused to worship its gods. And that made life very dangerous, especially for Christians. In the bustling port city of Marseilles, in what is now southern France, lived a man named Victor. Victor wasn't just another Roman citizen. He was a soldier. Strong, respected, brave. But more than all that, Victor was a Christian. And in his time being a Christian in the Roman army, that was like walking into fire carrying oil. Now, Victor didn't wear his faith like a secret badge hidden in his pocket. No, he lived it, loud and clear. He would visit fellow Christians in prison, comfort the sick, feed the poor, and boldly tell others about Jesus, even when he knew the risks. Some might have called him reckless, but Victor, he called it love, faith, obedience. And eventually, word got around. The Roman authorities arrested Victor, dragged him before the judge. "Why won't you honor the gods of Rome?" they asked. Victor looked them in the eye and said, "Because I serve the one true God, Jesus Christ." Now, in Roman terms, that was treason. Worshipping Jesus meant refusing to worship Caesar. And in those days, loyalty to Caesar was everything. Victor was thrown into prison. But guess what? Even behind bars, he kept preaching, encouraging other prisoners, sharing hope. 3 guards were assigned to watch him: Alexander, Longinus, and Felician. At first, they just did their job, keep an eye on the prisoner, nothing more. But as they watched Victor pray, saw his peace, listened to his words, something shifted. They wanted to know more. Victor told them about Jesus, the healer, the teacher, the Savior who had conquered death. And in that cold prison cell, those 3 guards gave their lives to Christ. When the authorities found out what happened, they were furious. How could a prisoner convert our guards? They gave the 3 men a choice: deny Christ or die. The guards stood firm. They chose Christ, and they were executed right there in front of Victor. Victor was brought back in. "Will you bow now?" they asked. "No," he said. "I bow only to my Lord." So they beat him, tortured him, hoped they could break his spirit. But Victor didn't bend. Then they tried something brutal. They took him to the temple of Jupiter and told him to offer a sacrifice. Instead of obeying, Victor walked up to the altar and kicked it over. Crash. the idol shattered. It was the final straw. Victor was taken away, alone. He knew what was coming. He had a chance to run. He didn't. He had a chance to lie. He wouldn't. They laid him down and executed him. And just like that, Victor of Marseilles gave his life for the God he loved. Victor's death wasn't the end of his story. His courage lit a fire in the hearts of Christians across the region. They didn't remember him just as a martyr. They remembered him as a man who stood firm when everything tried to knock him down. Today, a great abbey in Marseille still bears his name, St. Victor's Abbey. Built near the spot where he was buried, it has stood for centuries as a symbol of bold faith and unshakable love. The story of St. Victor of Marseille reminds us that sometimes the strongest people aren't the ones who fight with swords, but the ones who refuse to let go of hope. That real courage isn't just facing death, it's standing up for what's right, even when it costs everything. Victor didn't live to be famous. He lived to be faithful. And in the end, that's what made him unforgettable. So, if you ever feel afraid to speak up for your faith, or to do what's right when it's unpopular, remember Victor, a soldier who became a saint by standing firm in the truth.